I believe that the simpler things in life are better.
So how has that changed America for you?
Obama?
Yeah?
Oh, not really a lot. And I think that's another interesting part about it. You know, it's a period in time where I think a lot of people feel very optimistic about the possibility of change, but how that filters through to the everyday person is not quite possible to see yet. You know, I mean, for example, when Obama was elected in, it was a big celebration, but in Los Angeles there were protests because of because gay people can't get married in California. So it was this kind of dilemma of whether you're supposed to be sort of, you know, happy about the idea of change or frustrated because it's still not changing. You know.
What's something you dislike about America?
I mean, I think what I touched on before, this kind of culture of optimism. You know, the idea that you need to. Well, basically, it all stems up, I think, from capitalism. The idea that you need to buy things in order to be happy, and the more things that you have, the happier you are. And the way to show that you're happy is to sort of be wealthy and have this big grin on, you know. And it's just so clear how that is not the case, you know, that many people who seem to have it all are actually very miserable, you know. And I think that's a disturbing part of America for me, but also a very interesting part, you know. But I think, you know, obviously I believe that the simpler things in life are better, and that people in Europe probably have a better idea of what those are.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
And that's also kind of what this album is about then?
Yeah. It's about, you know, not knowing how you fit in, you know, and finding places where you can feel like you're part of something. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be any particular place, but we named it a Sisterworld, somewhere that you would find that is comforting.
So is it kind of a return to the concept album?
Well,
you kind of left that with Liars.
Yeah, I mean it's hard for us to sort of, I think, really deal with this thing, the concept album. It's kind of a heavy label to put on something because it makes it sound very intellectual and kind of hard. Like you've got to figure it out to enjoy it, you know, which is not really what we want. So I think we avoid the idea of a concept album and just sort of say that it's, you know, it's a record that we put a lot of thought into.
But you do work from one theme.
We do, and there's a lot of thought that goes into how the record's going to work as a whole, you know, because I think we feel that's important, you know, to give the album its own life, you know, but at the same time it's sort of like important that it's not seen as something that it has to be necessarily understood to be enjoyed, you know what I mean?
When did the process for this album start?
Oh, just after we finished touring the last record, really. We ended up in Los Angeles with the last shows we did with Radiohead, actually, and so right then we just sort of put our bags down and started to think about the next record.
So in 2008?
Yeah, so about a year.
And because like some of the previous records, they were like very long time between recording and release.
Yeah.
Why was that then?
I think, you know, it's that kind of thing is always like the label, the record companies. You know, it's hard for us to. There's a point where you sort of make the thing and you turn it into the label, and then it's really up to them how long it takes to get out. You know, and sometimes that's really frustrating.
So it's not like you work on it anymore in between.
No. It's at that point it's sort of like you move on to the other parts of the project that are required, like shooting videos or figuring out how to turn the whole thing into a live, you know, experience.